What's going on, guys? This next video, man, I was trying to get it up yesterday, but it didn't work out. I want y'all to take a good look at what all we got here. My wife helped me get some of this stuff. She did a bunch of research on it too, because it's all kind of messed up so bad. Made me have crazy dreams last night. It's weird. These people in this boat, man, there's something not right about this. Okay. I never known a place where the sheriff is the coroner too. I guess he runs. When he has to talk to the coroner on an interview, he has to run and change clothes and come back, man. You know, it's like in a movie. It's a bad movie. It's like a bad movie script. You know, if you watch this interview, any of these interviews, it's like a bad movie. You know. Well, here's the sheriff. How you doing? But the coroner. Let me go change real quick. Come back a different person. You know. It's the same guy. And I'm just kidding. It's unbelievable. Anyhow, this boat was set on fire with rocket fuel or something. There was some kind of, at the sternum, you know, front and back, the same, just blazed. They couldn't put it out. And there's an orange smoke. It looks like it's so thick, you know, it's made of cotton. There's only a few things that make smoke like that, and it's not asbestos or insulation or paint. It's jet fuel, nitromethane. I've messed with it enough. I know that it should have been thick black smoke. Even bodies burning would have been black smoke. Yeah, we burn oily. That's how humans burn, like oil. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that's weird here. The lady that was in charge of all these people at the diamond company, her husband was on another boat in another part of the world, but their business phone, it's been on for 30 some years, was turned off that day, Labor Day. Turned off. And
for
all these people,
only.
4 of them, they won't recover. They won't even go down there. It's only 54 feet. And they won't go get them. They won't get these bodies that are unrecoverable, they said. Okay, well, the Grape Escape is the name of the boat that these guys that were all in their underwear, 4 crew members, one being the captain who didn't go down with his ship. Anyway, they look like they got kicked off a boat without their clothes or their phones or anything. You know? Why would they all be in their underwear if they were supposed to be watching the ship? In one interview, it said they were preparing breakfast at 3 in the morning. Everybody else was asleep down below. Okay, so these 4 guys just bailed ship because it was blazing so hot they couldn't even think. I've been in a fire, man. 2 years ago, woke up in the middle of the night in our apartment and it was blazing. Okay, put it out. I put the fire out before the fire department came out. I have some with my bare hands, and my feet, and water hose. Okay, yeah, I did that. Got my kids out, inhaled smoke for 30 minutes. All right, mattress smoke. Well, check it out. I'm no hero. This is the thing. You're telling me I was up in 10 minutes, within at least 10 minutes, because my feet were burning. Fire, you know, and I couldn't breathe. Anybody in that ship would have been up that fast if it was that hot. So they just bailed ship. They just jumped off and left everybody there to die. 2, the galleyway shouldn't be locked. Okay, there's no lock there. It's open, so they could get up and down without freely. It's not a lock on it. There's no door. Why were they trapped in there and locked in there? Because somebody locked them in there and set them on fire while they were asleep. Some cowardly shit, man. Well, the Grape Escape just happened to be there all night, this boat. What a name, right? These guys swam to, but they were 60 feet offshore. They could have swam to the shore and gone back and helped these people, but they didn't. It was too late to go save these people. One of them was the crew member's girlfriend. Let her burn to death too. Okay, I don't feel no pity for these four people. You know why? Because they know what's going on here. They knew. They either set the fire themselves or they knew who did and they didn't tell the truth about it. It's like a hit or a whip second deal. You know, everybody else is collateral damage. 4 of the people were unidentifiable. They had to identify them by DNA. Well, DNA is blood and flesh. You don't have to do a DNA sample if somebody's body burns. You do dental records. They do dental records. All government offices know this. Dental records is not DNA. They go off dental records. And they say that they don't know who all was dead because they don't have a full roster of who was on the freaking ship. There's not a full list. There's not a list of who was on that ship that day. 39 people that paid all this money and they don't have a roster of who was on this ship. That's bullshit. Okay? I'm not conspiracy theorizing here. This is real talk, man. This is a bad operation, an operation of some sort. Somebody was on that ship that they wanted, either a witness or a high-value target. Somebody was on that ship that didn't need. That's why there was no roster. So they came and got them, or they killed them, and everybody else was collateral damage. A lot of innocent people, a lot of people died on this vacation here for somebody's bullshit. Okay, and somebody out there knows this. All right, there's evidence. I got plenty of evidence here. When you see it, you'll see it for yourself. It will blow your mind or make you sick to your stomach. It was so much so that I really had a dream. I got bad dreams about this, man. I don't ever dream. Weird. So that tells me right there. 2, here's another thing. The boat was named the Conception. The other boats that they have is called the Vision and the Truth. Well, yesterday, all the boats except for the Truth ship were gone. The Truth, the ship named Truth, was the only one left in that bay. Now, you tell me, does that not seem kind of funny, like a message to you? It does to me. You know, Truth.
Baby
and the Conception burnt up, and the Vision is, I don't know, I guess with her husband. Yeah, you figure that out. And I'm not trying to upset nobody here. I'm just going by what my guts tell me. You know, somebody knew something about this whole deal. Either they were threatened and they knew what was going on, and somebody's supposed to find out the truth about it. Well, you know what? I might take a trip to California, man, and check this out for myself. Because something tells me I need to. You know, these people didn't deserve to die like that. But they're full of shit. And in the video, in the interview, look at this cop and the other people standing beside him. And then the one guy all the way to the left that I'm pretty damn sure is FBI or Homeland Security. He's wearing a coat that shows FEMA coat or Homeland Security. So I can't tell. Either way, it's the same guy that was in Las Vegas that stood back there and looked like he was the enforcer to make sure these people didn't say nothing. Look, watch it. You'll see, man. I'm not crazy. Something is wrong here. And I don't care I hope somebody comes and says something to me, man, because I'll give them everything they want, because I think they're out of line. And if it's a government op, they're shitty too. That's shitty, man. WITSEC is one thing. WITSEC doesn't kill people. All right, they use bodies out of the morgue. You know, like sheriffs that are the coroner too. How convenient. So you can't identify people because there's no roster. You're not doing dental records. You got to do DNA, which is a lie. So that means their teeth were knocked out. They had no fucking teeth. You got to do DNA on somebody. I got news for you. Even rock jet fuel doesn't burn your teeth. All right, that's hot, but teeth don't burn. Okay, acid is even in an acid bath. People put people in drums of acid. Their teeth don't disintegrate. That's why they identify people. Teeth, lots of teeth. It's not DNA. You do the math here and you look for yourself if you want to. I did. I spent all night doing this. Me and my wife both. Because it's not right. She doesn't ever look into shit like this. She thinks I'm crazy. But it bothered her so much that she did a bunch of digging all night. Well, I've talked enough. Anyway, I guess people don't like the last couple of videos I put out. I really don't care anymore. People that love me, man, my people in here, I love you guys. I'm glad y'all are with me. One of these days, we're gonna change the world, man. All right. Y'all told me y'all follow me. You know, I was the best leader they could think of. I hold that real heavy to my heart, man. I don't plan on losing anytime soon. This is just another one of those things, man. Something's not right with our country. Okay, even so much so that the president tweeted about it or talked about it. Nobody usually cares anything about people dying in boat accidents or anything like that. I don't care how many people it is. They don't ever care. This is a big deal, obviously, because they know what's going on. They brought attention to it. Somebody on those boats wanted us to know the truth. So we're going to find it. And I figure I might send John Collin a message too and see what he thinks. Because I like that guy. He's badass, you know. Las Vegas investigator. He's awesome, you know. And he's my friend. So I'm going to contact him too. I just wanted to let y'all know what's going on. Pay attention to this interview with these cops. Look at their faces and see how they act. They look like they're in so much distress from this. It's unbelievable. They know it's bullshit. I mean, distress, because they have to do something they don't believe in. Look, just watch. It'll make you feel weird. Okay? I know what I see. I just don't understand if it was a killing or somebody somebody having to be erased, you know? It's one of the two. If not, it's just sad either way. There's 3 different birthday parties on this boat. One of them was a 17-year-old girl. You think she deserved to die? Knew what was happening? Hell no, she didn't, man. Nothing burns like this, and everybody knows it. They all know it. I'm sorry for, I feel bad for these people and their families too. If their families even know that they're dead, because there was no roster. That's just sick to me. Sick. Anyway, enough talking for me. I'm wasting enough of your time talking. Love you guys, and y'all have a good night, okay? I hope everybody had a good Labor Day. I've been sick, and I don't feel good. And, this whole boat fire thing didn't help either. I hope everybody in Florida is okay. To all my people down there, Florida Budget Bike Bills, DJ Cruz, all you guys, man, I love y'all, man. Y'all let me know you're okay, all right? I'm worried about y'all. I haven't heard from y'all either, so y'all do me the same gratitude, and y'all worry about me when I'm gone for a day, man. Y'all got serious shit coming y'all's way down there, so take care of your families and be safe. Everybody else down there in these states, man, y'all be safe too, and I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all later, okay? Enjoy the video, and please let me know what y'all think. If me and my wife are way off base, hey, let me know what you think. Give me your opinion, because any input's good. I'm really seriously thinking about going to California and checking this out. Anybody that's out there that knows anything about this, please comment and let me know, or email me, okay? Because nothing makes me feel like this made me feel. I mean, I know what certain things make me feel like that, and this is one of them. And I don't like it, you know? It just doesn't sit well with me. And I don't plan on letting it go. So, I guess if somebody told me leave it alone, I'd just pursue it more, because that would piss me off. Good night, guys. Y'all be safe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.
For press use only. Baby Grand Records.
Very, 2 seconds. Transformer. Northside Turkeys.
Vessel in distress, this is Coast Guard Sector Los Angeles on channel 16. What is your position and number of persons on board, over?
Breathe in, POV. I can't breathe. 39 POV. What?
Vessel in distress, Coast Guard Sector Los Angeles, roger. You have 29 persons on board and you can't breathe. What is your current GPS position, over? Vessel in distress, Coast Guard Sector Los Angeles on channel 16. What is your GPS position Over. Vessel in distress, Coast Guard Sector Los Angeles, Sunshine 16.
For press use only. Baby Grand Records. For press use only. Baby Grand Records.
Gentlemen of the press for being here today. Before I begin my remarks, I just would like to acknowledge our local elected officials who have come to show their support today. We are joined by Congressman Salud Carbajal, Senator Hannah-Beth Jackson, Assembly Member Monique Limon, and two of our county supervisors. From the 2nd District, we have Supervisor Greg Hart, and from the 3rd District, Supervisor Joan Hartman. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of the incident and what occurred early today. I'm going to then hand it off to Coast Guard Captain, who is going to talk about the rescue effort that went underway this morning. That will be followed by some remarks from our fire chief to talk about the Santa Barbara and Ventura County fire response to the incident. Our Santa Barbara County District Attorney will have some comments for you, as will Assistant Chief Ryan Smith from the Office of Emergency Services, and then Suzanne Grimacy will talk about what we're doing for victims' families. The incident today began at approximately 3:30 a.m. The Coast Guard sector in Los Angeles received a Mayday call that was from a fully engulfed 75-foot commercial diving vessel that was off the coast of Santa Cruz Island. Crews from the U.S. Coast Guard, the Ventura County Fire Department, and the Vessel Assist organization responded. The Coast Guard launched aircraft as well as boats and located a vessel that was fully involved in flames in the Platts Harbor area on the north side of Santa Cruz Island. The crews were actively fighting the fire when the vessel began to sink at approximately 7:20 a.m. this morning. 39 souls were reported to be on board that vessel when it left Santa Barbara. 5 victims were subsequently rescued and during the initial response and have been transported to Ventura Harbor. This particular dive trip that the boat was on was a 3-day trip that began August the 31st. It was scheduled to end tomorrow morning. It was advertised as a Labor Day weekend North Channel Islands dive trip. The boat was scheduled to depart Santa Barbara Harbor at 4 a.m. on Saturday the 31st and return on Monday the 2nd, as I say, in the morning. The dive company chartered the boat and the crew from Truth Aquatics, a Santa Barbara harbor-based operation that has been in existence since 1974. So far, in Santa Barbara, I am the coroner as well as the sheriff. So our coroner's bureau has been involved in this event because 4 victims have been recovered thus far as deceased. They have been transported to our coroner's bureau. We can only identify them at this point as 2 adult males and 2 adult females. Rescue and recovery efforts on the scene have located an additional 4 victims on the ocean floor in close proximity to the vessel, and we have dive teams that are in the water as we speak that are working to attempt a recovery of their remains. But the boat remains unstable, and I'm not sure when we're going to be able to recover those bodies as well as any more that may be within the vessel. The Coroner's Bureau is responsible for identifying the victims, for notifying the next of kin, and for determining the cause and manner of death. We have asked for assistance due to the sizable nature of this incident and have received support from the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office and from the Sacramento County Coroner's Office as well. The 4 victims that we have recovered as of now will need to be identified through DNA, and that may take some time. The condition of the remains that are recovered subsequently will determine the speed at which we are able to identify any of the victims. Our hearts go out to the families of the victims of this terrible tragedy. We understand the tremendous burden that they are under right now as they wait to determine exactly what happened and what condition and situation their loved ones are in. We will be working diligently to try to get them as much information as possible as soon as possible. We've also set up a family assistance center which is designed to provide specialized assistance to family members of victims of this tragedy. I am going to now turn this over to Captain Monica Rochester of the United States Coast Guard, Los Angeles sector, and she will give you a briefing on the rescue effort that was undertaken this morning. Yeah, my name is Sheriff Bill Brown, common spelling.
Good afternoon. I'm Captain Monica Rochester, Captain of the Port for Coast Guard Sector Los Angeles, Long Beach. We have been fully involved with this incident since 3:30 a.m. We continue to have Coast Guard vessels continue our search and rescue efforts along the shorelines of Santa Cruz Island. We also have our Coast Guard aircraft that is also engaged in providing cover to ensure that we have the full swath or full breadth of the area to be searched. We've also provided a safety zone, which is approximately a mile, which provides safety to the responders so that we don't have interference from other vessel traffic or any other incursion into the area where the incident has occurred. Additionally, we have also established a 3,000-foot ceiling for a temporary flight restriction. So again, this is all to protect the first responders. This isn't a day that we wanted to wake up to for Labor Day, and it's a very tragic event. And we will search all the way through the night into the morning, but I think we all should be prepared to move into the worst outcome. But those are our efforts right now, and they will continue through the night and into the morning. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mark Hartwig, Hartwig. I'm the County Fire Chief and County Fire Warden for the County of Santa Barbara. I want to start by telling you that the hearts of this community are heavy as the families deal with this. For representing those in the water and on the ground and those that are supporting this incident today and into the future, we are saddened with the families and those that are close to the folks affected by this tragedy. From the fire side, we were, shortly after the May Day, the PSAP in Ventura County was notified by the Coast Guard. That initiated an immediate response, as you believe heard this morning from Ventura County Fire Department out of Oxnard. They responded with 2 fireboats. Upon arrival at the scene, the incident, they encountered a fully involved wooden vessel in the waters off of Santa Cruz Island. They began to extinguish the flames and then notified the county fire department here in Santa Barbara, Cruz Island. They began to extinguish the flames and then notified the county fire department here in Santa Barbara. We continue, the county fire department continues today. We will offer our expertise in investigations on cause and origin, along with the team from the sheriff, Sheriff Bill Brown's office, and then we'll also provide incident support throughout this incident. Thank you.
My name is Joyce Dudley, D-U-D-L-E-Y. I am the District Attorney of Santa Barbara County. I represent the people of Santa Barbara County, and on behalf of the people of Santa Barbara County, I want them to understand, and everyone to understand, how much we understand what everyone is suffering from as a result of this. People all over the world, and we appreciate those thoughts, and our primary concern are the victims and their loved ones, and we will continue to address their concerns as quickly as we can. Santa Barbara County shares jurisdiction over these waterways and the area around Santa Cruz Island with the U.S. Attorney. I've been speaking with the U.S. Attorney Nick Hanna since this morning. We will continue to communicate with each other constantly and to address any jurisdictional concerns, monitor the investigation, and help in any way we can. Again, to those who are suffering as a result of this tragedy, you have our support and our love.
Ryan Smith, Assistant Chief, Governor's Office of Emergency Services, Law Enforcement Branch. On behalf of the Governor's Office of Emergency Services, we send our condolences to the victims and the families. Please know the thoughts of our entire state are with you during this tragic incident. Early this morning, the state's California Master Mutual Aid Plan was activated, resulting in multiple law enforcement, search and rescue, and coroner's resources being immediately dispatched to Santa Barbara to assist with the local and federal resources actively engaged in this incident. As this incident continues, we remain committed to ongoing collaboration with our local, state, and federal resources to respond to this tragic incident and fully support them in their ongoing efforts. This is a very complex, tragic, and sensitive incident requiring various resources and specialized training. Highly trained public safety personnel from throughout the state are on scene and engaged with our local partners and will remain committed throughout the response as well as into recovery operations. And I just want to reiterate our thoughts and prayers for the victims of this tragic incident, their families, and the Santa Barbara community as a whole.
Good afternoon. My name is Suzanne Grimacy. I work with the County of Santa Barbara, the Department of Behavioral Wellness. Today is Labor Day. I know people probably had many plans, ranging from working or spending time with family and friends. I'm sure nobody planned to have their day spent the way it is now and waking up to the news that we received. We have a Family Assistance Center that is set up at Warren Hall at Earl Warren Showground. The Family Assistance Center will be open through 9 p.m. tonight, open again at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We plan to stay open through Thursday, but really to stay open as long as is needed. The Assistance Center is a place where family, friends, loved ones, community, a place where people can come to get information, to get support, to get mental health counseling, and to get resources. The center is staffed by the county's Department of Behavioral Wellness for mental health counseling. We have clergy, chaplain, Red Cross, Hospice of Santa Barbara, Sheriff's Department, Fire, and others working together as a team. In addition, the county has a public information line that can be called. That number is 833-688-5551. So we'll carry on together as we get more information and learn new findings as the days progress. Hope that you will take care of yourself well and take care of others. Thank you.
Press use only. Baby Grand Records.
Thank you, Susanna. Thank all of our speakers. We now be in a position to take some questions from you. Let me get him first. Well, we're always hopeful that there would be more survivors found, and the search and rescue operation continues today and will through tomorrow morning, doing everything that we can to try to see if anyone could have survived this. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Yeah, I don't know that there is a black box on a vessel like this, and I couldn't answer that question for you. Correct. Tomorrow morning it was supposed to end. Tuesday morning. The initial reports that were received in the Mayday were that the fire was underway. There were no initial reports of an explosion. There have been several media reports about potential for an explosion or explosions. That could be, it's just speculation, but obviously that could be scuba tanks or propane tanks or other things that could be blowing up in the fire. But there's nothing that would, in the initial broadcast from the vessel, that indicated that there was an initial explosion. We don't know that at this point. And I think you have to understand, this is probably the worst case scenario you could possibly have. You have a vessel that's on the open sea that is in the middle of the night. I mean, at 3:30 in the morning. Fire is the scourge of any ship, and the vessel. If not everybody, most everybody was asleep at this time. The majority of the people were the passengers on the ship, and the sleeping compartment was on the bottom deck of the ship, so they would have been sound asleep when this fire started. So you can imagine that of all scenarios, to be in a remote location, have a fire that occurs, have limited, if any, firefighting capabilities that could address that, and then to have all of a sudden a fire that spread very, very rapidly. You couldn't ask for a worse situation. Could you repeat that question? Yeah, I know that I can't tell you exactly how much has been searched, and I don't know if Captain Rochester can address that, but certainly the island itself, the coastline, has been checked.
I don't have the actual specific length or amount, but what I can tell you is that we continue the search around the island itself, as well as the water currents have indicated that moving to the west. So we will concentrate our effort also to the west as well. Usually that design is required to have an emergency escape hatch. It's usually leads the individuals out onto the main deck. From what we would call their accommodation spaces, their sleeping quarters. I don't have that information.
Baby Grand Records.
I'm sorry, could you repeat your question? The crew that was interviewed today by Santa Barbara sheriffs, as well as some Coast Guard investigators, but I don't have the knowledge of what was discussed. Okay, let's clarify that. It was a total of 39 people on board, 6 of which were crew, and 33 were passengers. Whoa. One question at a time, please. So it's a total of 39 people on board. Of that are 6 crew members and 33 passengers. That is unaccounted for. That is correct. Yes, there were. I can't speak to that. The investigation is ongoing. So the Coast Guard Communications Center explained to me that when the call came in, the vessel was already totally engulfed in flames. That's exactly how it was relayed to us. No, I don't have any of that information. Excuse me, say that again? So the boat has sank, and now it's inverted, and it's on the seabed. It's on the floor in approximately 62 feet of water. Excuse me. Vessel is inspected annually by the Coast Guard. They have been in full compliance with regulatory requirements. Hold on just a second. You had someone behind you that was trying to ask a question. I don't have that information. That will come out probably through an investigation. The Coast Guard itself will launch what we call a formal Marine Board of Inquiry. So there will be a team of Coast Guard folks that will come out and commence that process. I'm sorry, say again? We do have a list of passengers. Right now, we're working on the next of kin notifications, identification. The Santa Barbara Sheriff Office has the lead on that. So I don't have that answer, and I'm going to go ahead and relinquish my opportunity for somebody else to speak on behalf of this incident. I don't have that information, but we certainly, we can, if you want to meet with our public affairs folks, we will certainly provide that information to you as best as we can. Thank you very much.
The question was, is the vessel going to stay at its location or will it be towed in? We're under discussion right now as to how that's going to be handled and what condition the vessel is in, if it could be towed without breaking apart, and whether it should be examined on site versus brought onto shore. So that'll be something that the experts will be dealing with and making recommendations for as we go forward. We don't have a location for that yet.
For press use only.
So it was a group. It was billed as a Labor Day trip. I don't believe that they were all from one group. I think they were people from all around Southern California and perhaps further, who were dive enthusiasts who just got on this boat, much like you would get on a fishing boat, where you'd have a few people that you might know, but the rest of the people you wouldn't know, and it's that type of operation. I've not heard that. So. Question is, was there firefighting equipment on board? There would have to be firefighting equipment on board to pass the Coast Guard inspection. So. We have, at this point, there's only 4 people have actually been recovered. 4 more have been spotted or seen on the ocean floor, and the remaining 31 people are still missing at this point. Okay, one at a time, please. Yes, this investigation is a joint investigation between local, state, and federal agencies that all have jurisdiction and varying interests within this investigation. So, in other words, you have the sheriff's office, you have which handles the coroner's matters, as I indicated before. You also have the state Office of Emergency Services that responds to disasters and major emergencies like this. You have the Federal National Transportation Safety Bureau and other federal investigative agencies that will be in support of that. The Coast Guard has an investigative arm, the Coast Guard Investigative Service. So there's a number of different agencies that will be involved in this investigation. I don't have that information, Nick. The question was, what has the crew relayed or conveyed? The only information that I've got is that we do have some statements from them that the investigators are looking at. We also have the gist of what the initial Mayday call was. Other than that, we don't have any details at this point. Yeah, I don't know that I can answer that question. Is if the boat's unstable, what has to be done before rescue divers can go down there? It's only unstable from the standpoint that it's upside down in relatively shallow water with receding tides that are moving it around, essentially. So at some point, they're going to have to make a determination of when the best time is to actually either refloat that vessel and attempt to recover anyone who may be inside, or to try to make the recovery while it's still on the ocean floor. Well, correct. There's the four. Just to clarify, we have four actual bodies that have been delivered to our coroner's bureau. The other four who have been identified as deceased are still on the ocean floor at the vessel site, and the remaining 5 alive. So yeah, you look at the remaining 26 people would be still missing at this stage. Yeah, I don't have the age ranges. It's a mixture of men and women and crew and passengers. That's all I know at this point. Don't know that. All right, going to take 2 more questions here. So burning questions in the back. So the salvage operation to get the vessel refloated and examined is one that obviously calls for a tremendous amount of expertise. That's one that will be required, and then there's also a concern for whatever fuel may be left in the vessel in terms of a hazardous leak type to contain the fuel that may be and any other hazardous materials that may be in the vessel as well. That I don't have that information at all. So yeah, we have that is not information that's made its way to us. Well, there's an investigation to determine if there was any criminal activity, but we have no reason to suspect that there was at this point, but we are going to make sure that that's not the case. So that's why we'll be conducting it. Don't have that information for you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm sorry. We will be holding another press conference tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., same location, right here at 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Fire Department crews were fighting the fire when the vessel sank 20 yards offshore in 64 feet of water. Santa Barbara County Fire, as well as the National Park Service. Coast Guard and partner agencies have responded to a vessel fire near Santa Cruz Island this morning at 03:30, which is 3:30 a.m. Coast Guard Sector Los Angeles Long Beach watchstanders overheard a mayday call via Channel 16 of an engulfed 75-foot commercial diving vessel with 39 people aboard. Crews from the Coast Guard, Santa Barbara Fire Department, Ventura County Fire Department, and the Vessel Assist have responded. Fire Department crews were fighting the fire when the vessel sank 20 yards offshore in 64 feet of water. 5 people were evacuated aboard a Good Samaritan pleasure craft known as the Great Escape. Currently, 34 people aboard the vessel are unaccounted for. Watchstanders at Coast Guard Sector Los Angeles Long Beach launched 2 Coast Guard Station Channel Islands Harbor 45-foot response boat medium crews a Coast Guard Air Station San Francisco Forward Operating Base Magoo Dolphin MH-65 helicopter crew, a Coast Guard Air Station San Diego MH-60 Jayhawk helicopter crew, and the Coast Guard cutter Narwhal. The vessel currently has a portion of the bow sticking out of the water. Those are my comments at this time.
For press use only, Baby Grand Records.
Dustin Gardner, Ventura County Fire Department. We've been in unified command since this morning at 03:30 with the United States Coast Guard, Channel Islands Harbor, Ventura, and it will continue to be a unified effort as we switch to Santa Barbara County Sheriff and Santa Barbara County Fire as the incident goes on and we go into a recovery mode.
So there is no chance of trying recovery mode, there's no chance of further rescue? At the microphone, please. At the microphone.
Presently, the Coast Guard has full efforts in a response posture right now. We are currently still in the response phase.
Are there divers in the water that are looking in the wreckage?
I don't have any additional information regarding that at this time. Response search and rescue activities, yes ma'am.
So what can they be doing at this point?
Right now they're conducting shoreline searches for any available survivors.
Can you give some insight then? What is the distance from where the boat was to the shoreline?
It's approximately 20 yards from my last brief.
Though at this point, no word of anyone who made it to shore otherwise.
I don't have any additional information at this time.
Does the boat operator have a history of violations?
It's 34 unaccounted for folks on board. I can't answer that question. I don't have that information.
Does the boat operator have any history of violations?
One question at a time, please. I'm sorry?
Does the boat operator have any violations? Have you guys checked that already?
The vessel has been in full compliance. We are working deliberately with the vessel owner operator who is with us at this time, working on a plan to conduct further assistance for his vessel.
What is the location on Santa Cruz Island?
It's at Platts Harbor, I believe.
Platts Harbor?
Right? Platts Harbor, 20 yards off of Platts Harbor on the north side of Santa Cruz Island.
Apologize if this is redundant. The fire, you must have some initial information. Was this something that started small? Was there an explosion that was quick and out of nowhere?
The only mayday call we received was the vessel was engulfed in flames. That's all we received.
About how long was it between that initial call and the time crews were able to arrive?
I don't have that for you right now, but I can get that for you.
And just to clarify, because we had heard of 34 and then 33.
It's 34 unaccounted for people on board. The crew was actually already awake and on the bridge, and they jumped off.
And to clarify, 5 crew members. Were there only 5 crew members, meaning all crew made it off?
5 crew members on board.
And were they all awake at the time working?
They were awake at the time. I don't have any additional information regarding that.
You mentioned the Great Escape, because we've seen things that were printed Great Escape, but we saw some shirts that said Grape Escape.
I believe it's Grape, G-R-A-P-E.
And that was a rescue vessel? Those were not crew members?
It's a Good Samaritan. What we call a Good Samaritan is a person that offered their services to help.
So if we see a gentleman wearing a Grape Escape shirt, he was not on the boat, but simply a Good Samaritan rescue.
Simply a Good Samaritan that helped the situation.
Captain, do you know all of the passengers supposed to crew below decks on the vessel?
My understanding, or the report I received, they were below decks asleep.
Now, have you received any witness accounts that anybody was able to get above deck or below decks?
I don't have any additional information on that, sir.
And there are no witness accounts of anybody other than the 5 crew members in the water?
I don't have any additional information, and if you will, we're going to go ahead and continue our research, our response search efforts. So with that, I'll close out this brief. Thank you. Certainly, it's R-O-C-H-E-S-T-E-R. Monica.
For press use only,
and my rank is
Baby
captain.
Grand Records.
I'd like you to go ahead and work through our public affairs person here, Petty Officer Cooney, and he will set up the next briefing. We're still working on Family Assistance Center, and the Santa Barbara County Emergency Services is doing that for us.
Do you mind a question regarding background?
That's all the questions I have for right
regarding
now,
background
so that we can go
info.
ahead and continue our response. Thank you very much.
The boat does have commercial use authorization to operate in a park. Yep. Yeah, the boat does have authorization to operate in a park under commercial use authorization.
Was it anchored there for the night? Is that what it was doing?
I don't have all the details yet. Investigation is still continuing, so let me hop back with the rest of the incident. command group, and we'll let you know when the next update is. We'll be better off getting better information here in just a little bit. Sure, it's not. HNAT. Mark. Yep. Chief Ranger for Channel Islands. Correct. Thank you.